Starting lineup on the pole. Out of Winona, Minnesota, the 87H. That'll be Harley Dice to the middle of row number 1. Out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's the 4W Tyler Wolf. And to the outside, out of Hayfield, Minnesota, the 50 to the 3rd, it's Brandon Davis.
Inside of the second row, out of Wichita, Kansas, the pilot of car number 10B, you'll find Brandon Givens. Into the outside from Madrid, Iowa, the 21K, looking for his first win of the season for Kyle Brown in 21K. Outside, your winner here last night, driving that CDR race cars number 3B out of Perry, Kansas, it's Nick Bittinger.
To the inside of row number 3, out of Hermitage, Missouri, it's the 1B of Bobby Williams to his right side. From St. Joseph, Missouri, the number 56, it'll be Chadron Turner. And to the outside of the 3rd row from Winona, Minnesota, car number 95 is Keith Foss.
To the inside of the next row, you'll find TP Terry Phillips looking for his 6th win of the year for the Springfield, Missouri native, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer, car number 75. And to the outside of the Rushford, Minnesota, car number 15, it's Alex Williamson. Houston Johnson, your current USRA National Points leader out of Kansas City, Missouri, car number 97, will start 12th here tonight.
Starting on the inside of row number 5, rolling off in the 13th spot from Baldwin City, Kansas, the 17. That'll be Henry Chambers to his right side. Out of Winona, Minnesota, car number 99. It's the Candyman, Josh Hanks. And on the outside of that row from Wichita, Kansas, the 15W, Wyatt Gajero.
Sam Osmond out of Spiro, Oklahoma, driving the Team Lobo Motorsports Army Contractors number 88, will start 16th here tonight. To the outside, or in that middle row, and the 98 out of Albert Lee, Minnesota, it's Kevin Stoa. Your 18th starter from Bates City, and car number 73B, it's Shad Batter.
Starting on the inside of row number 7 from Hermitage, Missouri, the superintendent, Jason Persley, in the 38C to his right. From Boonville, Missouri, the 88D, that'll be Jimmy Dowell. And starting 21st to the outside of row number 7, from Urbana, Missouri, the 55K, that's Colson Kirk.
That Lucas Oil Products 9L out of Elk City, Oklahoma. Starting 22nd, you'll find Vince Lucas. The middle row to his outside out of Columbia, Missouri, aboard car number 25, it's Scotty Roberts. Outside of him in the 24 from Bates City, Missouri. In the 96, starting 24th, you'll find Cody Brill.
Inside of row number 9, from Kellogg, Iowa, the 21X, it's David Brown. To the right-hand side, to Savage, Minnesota, the 21T is Troy Goodmanson. And to the outside of that row, from Adair, Oklahoma, the number 55, Nathan Hagar.
Your 28th starter inside of row number 10 and the 17 junior, it's Drake Long out of Stillwell, Oklahoma. Into the middle of that row from Urbana, Missouri, the Gator Graphics Hughes Race Cars number 8, it's Dylan McCowan. And to the outside, the pilot of the number 18 from Cameron, it's Brad Johnson.
Your 2 final starters here in this one. The 127 of Peyton Phillips out of Chinook, Kansas, is scratch on the evening. He will not make the call. But the final scheduled starter out of Warrensburg, Missouri, the number 68, it'll be the Mean Dean Willie. So that is your 32-car scheduled starting lineup here tonight at the Lucas Oil Speedway. 31 going to make the call as, again, track prep looks like it's been finished up, and your field starts to roll out onto the Lucas Oil Speedway. In place of Peyton Phillips, we do have a 32nd car, Lee Beamer, going to make the call here tonight. He has been inserted into the starting lineup in place of the 127. So just now getting that note. Want to make sure that we include him in that lineup as well.
Eric, I compiled those stats for the B-Mod race a moment ago. Your top 15 starters, for what it worth, just compiled those. They had 178 wins in the first 15 starters of your B-Mod race. Your first 15 of your USRA modified race, 80 total wins between the first 15 tonight. So almost half of the wins there. But we talked about the format and how this thing, and Trenton made that point earlier on in the program, that, man, you may see some guys really storm from the back half of this field up towards the front, man. This should be a fun one as well.
Yeah, still an impressive number there, nevertheless. But, again, as you see the field start to assemble 3 wide, the question, it's got to be asked. You have a true rookie in Harley Dice on the pole. We've talked about him ad nauseum this week and what he has been able to accomplish all 3 nights here, especially night number 2. Can he shock the world here tonight?
I think he can. I really think he can, man. He has been nails this week. And here's why. Here's why I think that he can. Because on Wednesday night, who did he pass? Terry Phillips. Right. Terry's one of the best. Even if you could say he had in a down, it's still Terry Phillips. He passed him under green flag conditions and got it done. And then the next night, who does he pass? Brandon Davis, who's fresh off a fall jamboree and wins, on Thursday night here. I mean, it is really been impressive what Harley Dice has done here this week. Sure, it's going to be a tall task for him to cap this off and get a win. But, hey, the 18-year-old has been poised to get a big-time victory here, and I would not be surprised if he could shock the world.
We're about ready to find out. He has some of the best in the business behind him as well. As you saw the fireworks go off, Tyler Wolf, Brandon Davis, some of the best of the best, ready to battle it out here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Lights are out. Field off of turn 4 comes to the green.
We're underway in your USRA Modified Nightcap. It's the 12th annual USRA Nationals for the Modifieds. They hustle into one. Harley Dice hoping that bottom's going to be there the way it's been here all weekend long. He jumped out to a very commanding opening race lead. The 87 marching through the beat of his own drum here into the opening lap. Harley Dice going to roll the bottom, hoping it's there the way it's been here the previous few nights for him, as he'll take that Denny's Roofing number 87 out front with the race lead after one.
Man, I'll tell you what, these 3 wide starts, it makes the first lap just about hair-raising to watch as everybody fights for real estate around the speedway. Now I think for the most part everybody's found it. Jimmy down with a little slip of the grip. He rolls to the back of the field, but we stay clean and green nonetheless. At the end of lap number 2, Harley Dice right now setting the pace out in front. We talked about it. The youngster's been fast all week, extremely fast here on the opening 2 laps, but we have a long way to go here tonight at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Extremely impressive first few laps here for Dice in the 87, looking for his 5th win of the year for the Winona, Minnesota driver in car number 87. The 4W of Tyler Wolf, fresh off them pair of USMTS win at Tri-State just a couple of weeks ago, and he won here last night in the 4W car. Kyle Brown having a good run tonight. The top 4-5 cars all rolling around the hub of the Lucas Oil Speedway. Business kind of settled down a little bit at this juncture as you see Brandon Davis there in front of that 3-wide battle underneath the flag stand, the one Bittiger on the top of that battle, the 17 of Chambers and the 15 of Williamson.
Yeah, that was a hair-raising battle there for a couple of laps. Williamson got the better of that. Now he rides currently, I believe, in the 7th spot. 8th is the 3B of Bittiger. 9th is Chambers as off of turn number 2. It's still a big lead for Harley Dice, but it is visibly already starting to shrink. The 4W of Tyler Wolf going to work.
Assuming that the 87 can just hit his marks, we'll see what happens here. 1.512 the last time. It's down to 1.488. Scoring lap number 6 that time by with 44 laps to go. Again, you'll need to conserve your equipment just a little bit here. The 87 car looking pretty good. And again, it'll take, I would say, about 7 or 8 more laps, and we will reach the tail end of lap traffic. And then Harley Dice is seriously going to have to make some business decisions.
Absolutely, is right now everybody again trying to kind of search for real estate around the Lucas Oil Speedway. A lot of action in the back half of the pack right now. Meanwhile, on your screen at home, you were watching Tyler Wolf battle with the 21K Kyle Brown. Now we got a problem in turn 2. Got a car around, a couple others collected. Colson Kirk and the 73 Shad Batter with the 9, I believe that's Lucas. Lucas, I think, was the one that went around and collected the other 2. If FK Rod an instant replay on your screen at home. Yep, Lucas went around. Batter got him with nowhere to go, and there come Colson Kirk. Kirk got probably the worst into that as he came along and hit the 9 pretty hard. Again, just nowhere to go for the 55 of Kirk, and I think probably the right rear on that car, something awry. So an unfortunate instance there for Colson Kirk as we are 8 laps into this 50-lap affair. Trenton Berry just kind of watching some of the things that have been happening at the front of the field. I mean, we're only 8 laps into this one, but Harley Dice so far looking as every bit of as impressive as we would have thought coming into tonight's A-Main.
You bet. I'm going to say, too, that Tyler Wolf wanted to sit and ride there for a minute. I've talked to him a lot about the benefits of running in second, especially early on. We'll see that 4W come to life. We'll probably see that 87 throw it all, plus the kitchen sink at it here before too long as well. As we see the 87 of Dice stopping right there at an official right there in the middle of turn 1 and 2. One of the things I noticed about Harley this week, I felt like he rotated and turned through the bottom, and I felt like he got better the slicker that the racetrack had gotten. I mean, that's just the things that I had noticed from him earlier this week, and we'll see if that still plays. I don't know if you guys paid attention and noticed that as well, but it seemed like he definitely got faster when the track got slower.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the performances from the 49 of Jake Tim over the last couple of years, especially when, like you said, the racetrack slowed down, the bottom was good. It seemed like Jake Tim could go from the back of the pack to the front of the pack at will. That's a Jake Tim race car with support from the 49 camp. Makes you wonder if there's not a little bit of that 49 magic in that race car.
Oh yeah, I think so. We're watching a kid here that's he's gonna be a future player in the USMTS. I don't know if everybody's pieced this together or not, but he raced national BMX as a kid before he got into these cars just a few years ago. And they went to Vegas, they went out west, they went down south. They've traveled all over the country. So the travel schedule is going to be nothing for the 87. And I feel like the talent has met the preparation right here. Granted, he's going to see a lot of new dirt and a lot of different things, but do not sleep on that 87H. Kid is 17 years old right now and is an unbelievable talent behind the wheel.
Stops over at the top side of turns 1 and 2 again. So we're going to see maybe, hopefully not a major situation that's going to take him out of this race. Track officials were over there momentarily checking on something. Not sure exactly what the situation was, but he'll roll back away. So I would assume he would retain his running position at the front of the field. And, yeah, Tyler Wolf just tucks in behind him. So whatever it was, not something that's going to end his night. See a little bit of right rear damage on the 4W of Wolf, but it's tucked up far enough when the rear axle articulates. I don't think it's going to be a factor for the 4W, but that right rear quarter panel tucked up underneath the decking there. You do see some space on that tire. You see the way that it articulates. It's clear of the body damage, so you're not going to have any kind of a body rub or anything like that, but you don't have that quarter panel out there catching as much air as you might want, and sometimes when the racetrack's slow, every little bit of side force on these race cars can help. Aero, believe it or not, is a factor sometimes in these dirt late model and modified races, Zach.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be a really, really interesting restart here. This could be the difference between winning and losing this race if you're Dice or the 4W of Wolf. See what kind of cards these guys are going to play and how they're going to elect to play that hand. Dice, I'm assuming he just wants to be able to roll that bottom the way he's done for the first part of this race. Down to you.
Hey, one more note. You want to know how serious he is about his racing? He skipped his high school graduation to run that race car earlier this year.
Yeah, for a Northern Lights Modified Series event at the Basin City Motor Speedway. We had a brief graduation recognition ceremony, whatever you want to call it, right there at the racetrack. And, went and climbed right back in the race car. So, good call on that, Trent. I did forget about that. I was there that night.
And I do think now, piecing out, I do believe he had turned 18, which would make sense graduating high school. I was recounting a story there from a year ago referencing his age. So,
yeah,
just 18.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, the kid is cold-blooded. He has been nails here all weekend long, or all week long, rather.
Yeah, without a doubt, there looks to be debris on the racetrack over at the top side of turn 2. Track officials going to go over there and get that cleaned up after the field rolls by.
This is what this sport needs, though, right? You need these new names coming up, making their presence felt, making a name for themselves, right? Because you'll never forget the night. If he could pull this off, remember the night Harley Dice come out there and he beat Tyler Wolf in the 21? Of course, we're not speaking this thing early on. I mean, we have a long way to go yet, but I'm just saying it's really a great story.
Hey, Eric, real quick before we go, you'll get a kick out of this, but speaking here a little tongue-in-cheek, Harley Dice did exactly what Jason Pursley wishes he could do.
Oh.
Goodness. Shots fired.
But he's not quite so lucky anymore.
Oh. All right.
I wouldn't drive through Hermitage anytime soon.
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, don't drive through Hermitage anytime soon, sir. The 87 of Harley Dice leads us back down the front boulevard, and he punches his ticket to the 87. That Denny's roofing car is humming around the hub tonight. He'll lead him in the 87S 4W T-Dub. Down to the bottom. Good restart for Kyle Brown. Looking to go to second. Winless on the year for Kyle Brown. He's been close a couple of times with the USMTS. He got a couple of seconds this year. Look out. Tyler Wolf got bottled up. Collects the 75 of Terry Phillips. Phillips rolling through the infield, trying to get back on the surface. He does. Loses wholesale ground, though, Eric, as they roll back into one.
Yeah, he does. Hey, look at who's challenging Wolf right now and the car right behind him. How about Brandon Givens and Alex Williamson? Williamson now digging to the bottom of the racetrack. Givens feels good through the middle part of the speedway, but Alex Williamson might take advantage of the bottom being opened up. He's going to try to get to the left rear quarter panel of the 10B. Now Williamson dials up the top side of the speedway at the turns 1 and 2 end.
A-Dub rolling the top now. Down the back straightaway has risen to the occasion inside of the top 5. He wants more. To the back of the 10 of Brandon Givens. Givens rolling the bottom. Williamson is not budged off the top shelf. He'll look to get a run off the 4. Brandon Davis 1 spot behind him. Shadron Turner driven him his way into the 7th spot as they roll back into 1. Kyle Brown has been able to keep Dice honest here. It was a 0.555 second disadvantage for the 21K the last time by. Dice has swung up a little bit higher wide here on the exit here, Eric. Let's keep an eye on that. He seems to have found some pretty good ground right through that moisture strip you can see in the middle of 1 and 2, as well as in 3 and 4, and it's able to keep him up front 7/10 the last time by.
Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few cars that have found that middle groove that was kind of tilled up. Now Dice back to the bottom, but he lets the car swing out wide out the corner exit. He wasn't doing that earlier in the week, so again, maybe some better moisture there at the corner exit through the middle part of the racetrack as Dice having fun on the bottom of the racetrack. But like you said, Kyle Brown keeping him honest and within reach right now. Just riding around. We're 13 laps in, 37 to go, so still a long way. And Kyle Brown, a USMTS competitor, he's used to these longer distance races. That's where I wonder if we might see maybe a little bit of chink in the armor for the 87H or Harley Dice. We'll see what happens.
You took the
we got a problem in turn 2, the 9L of Vince Lucas off the speedway, and we're going to roll on.
Yeah, you took my thoughts right out of my head on that one. Speaking of the point about the 21K car who's used to typically running these 50-lap races, while Dice not typically used to running them. He's moved his line up there, and here's the deal. Sometimes when you're the race leader, you have no idea where you need or where you need to not be on the racetrack. Right now, Dice searching all over it. Still able to hold on to the race lead right now. It was 0.965 the last time. It's down to 0.747 now. Kyle Brown chipping away at it.
Look at this. Dice on the top part of the racetrack now. He hasn't stuck to one line just yet. Is this a veteran type of presence that we're seeing underneath the helmet of the driver of the 87? He hasn't seen anybody poke a nose yet, but he's moving around. He's trying to fill different lines on the racetrack. Sometimes you don't always see that out of a leader, even a veteran leader. I wonder right now, it just makes me wonder what's going on underneath the helmet of the 87.
I'll tell you what's going on right now. That young man is locked in. 18 years old, and he's out here running with the best of them into turn number 1. Harley Dice, 1.135. He has stretched it out since he moved to the top shelf. His first blunder in the race, though. Slipped up off the exit of 2. Is going to allow the 21K of Kyle Brown to get a run into turn number 3. Lap traffic up in front for your race leader. Big-time business decisions are about to be made for your 18-year-old race leader, Harley Dice, as you see Henry Chambers driving down to the bottom of the 15W of Alex Williamson for your top 5 right here, right now, Eric, as they roll back into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was a good battle on your screen there momentarily, 2 by 2 there between Chambers, Alex Williamson, the 75 of Phillips running in the 8th spot, Shadron Turner in 9th, Keith Foss just behind him there as well. Those 4 all continue that war off of turn number 4. Now, Kyle Brown inching closer to that 87H of Harley Dice as Dice indecisive in traffic thus far. Beamer to the bottom of the racetrack, Dice up top. Here's the first test for the youngster in the 87H, this time by the line, 21 in, 29 to go.
What we've talked about in the previous couple of races. Oftentimes you want to be the driver sitting in second so you can base where the leader does or does not go through lap traffic. And right now, Harley Dice having no problems carving his way through the first car that was a victim. Kyle Brown also having no problems. He'll wash his hands as well. No cars in between the back deck lid of the 87 and the front nose of the 21K. Look out, Harley Dice had to check up for the 88 car of Dowell that slipped up the racetrack right in front of his nose. Kyle Brown there. He could smell blood in the water. Into turn number 3. Dice has got to be nails here as he'll work his way to the back of lap traffic. And Kyle Brown right there knocking on the door.
Nose to tail curling, separate the 2 back into 1 and 2. Dice this time will down at the top side of the speedway. Jimmy Dowell, the car a little bit better, doesn't drift up the racetrack, but Dice did not get a good set of corners there. The 21K Kyle Brown nearly nipped the left rear quarter panel. Now Dice way up the speedway again. Brown on the bottom. They're nearly side by side off of turn number 4. A half a car length behind Jimmy Dowell. Lap traffic playing a factor here in the battle for the lead.
Man, you know that Harley Dice and his family, they want it so bad, and you almost want it so bad for him, but you also want it so bad for the 21K of Kyle Brown, who is winless on this 2025 campaign, who has ran into so much bad luck on the year. That'll tell a great story for him tonight, having battled through all the adversity. And he's got a shot right here into turn number 1 through a heavy set of lap traffic, and here comes Tyler Wolf. Wolf will throw his hat back into the ring. Brandon Givens into the mix in car number 10. This is getting good. This is getting interesting. I like it. I love it. And I want some more of it.
Dice had an opportunity to pull away from the 21K Kyle Brown there a little bit after he deposited both the 17 and I believe that was the 88 into lap traffic. Now he's dealing with a pair of teammates. How about former modified standout current late model driver Dylan McCowan? McCowan going to go a lap down to the youngster in the 87H. Mean Dean Willie just ahead of him as well. Willie on the bottom of the racetrack. Dice rolling around the top side of the speedway back to about a 4-car length advantage into 1 and 2.
The good news is, Harley Dice, you've led the first 27 here tonight. The bad news is you still got 23 more laps to go. And you got a good one hot on your heels in the form of the 21K of Kyle Brown. National Series racer off of turn number 4 in that Team Harris Auto Group number 21K. Look at Dice splitting the gap down to the inside of Mean Dean Willie. He'll try to put the car and keep it glued down here to the bottom. Man, Kyle Brown able to keep pace with him. This is a ton of fun to watch, a high-speed game. And cat mouse, look out, Dice slipped up. Dice slips up off the exit of 2. Back into the throttle, though. Willie, you're right there. 1 car between, or the inside, and splitting the 21K. Down the front straightaway, Eric into 1. This is exciting.
Harley Dice back to the top side of the speedway. Kyle Brown right through the middle, following in the wheel tracks of the 68. Dice now able to scoot away just again. A tiny bit of breathing room, but he still has decisions to make all up in front of him. It only gets thicker and thicker from here. There's the 21 of Goodmanson, the 38C of Jason Persley. They'll both select the bottom of the racetrack. Nathan Hagar right in front of your leader. Dice going to try to split the wickets of the lap cars off of turn number 4.
We're down to a regular dirt track 20 lap Saturday night special here. As we race them off of 4 through a heavy set of lap traffic here. Kyle Brown has his best run so far. Pulls in tight to the back deck lid of Dice. Kyle Brown trying to pick his poison here in a 1. Dice nails through lap traffic. Brown slips up down the back straightaway. Here comes Givens trying to work to the inside of the 4W of Tyler Wolf. What a race we've got in turn number 3. Your top 5 cars in the same set of corners as they exit 4. Harley Dice trying to stretch it out. 0.231 as he's in sparks into the Wheatland night.
Givens might have been able to do something with Wolf the last time by had it not been for the 21T of Goodmanson. He had to play the patience game, gets around Goodmanson, but there's the 50 to the 3rd of Brandon Davis as well. A pair of Brandons doing battle into turns 3 and 4. Wolf still trying to come back after the 21K of Kyle Brown. Dice pulling away once again at the front of the field.
Kyle Brown finally gets the clearance over lap traffic, though the 4W is flanked down to his bottom. Here comes Tyler Wolf trying to rise back to the occasion. Harley Dice has set up shop with a 1.313 second advantage as the 8 of McCowan is slowing off the pace down the back straightaway. Hopefully he can get far enough out of harm's way. This thing can stay green as we are still sparking and arcing with your race leader, Harley Dice. He has hit that right rear spoiler on the concrete each of the last few times by here, Eric.
He has, but right now lap traffic is kind of cleared out in front of him. He's just got the 1 car of the 18 of Johnson right now. Brad Johnson in that blue and black 18, and really hasn't slowed him down any as of yet. It's allowed him to inch away from the 21 of Brown and the 4 of Wolf. Brandon Davis now in the 4 spot. Givens continues to ride in the top 5. We've got just 15 now, coming to 14 laps to go this time by the line. Harley Dice absolutely putting on a clinic here tonight. An impressive run for the youngster in the behind the wheel of the 87H.
What a storyline we've got here tonight for the entirety of this top 3 right here into 1.
He slipped up. He got tight at the top of the corner. Sorry. Brown closed in by about 2 car lengths that time through 1 and 2.
He did, man. You have nearly got to be perfect here when it matters the most, Eric, to your point. With 13 to go this time by underneath the fully equipment flag stand. He has stretched it out to a 1.3, and now it's back down to 0.574. Kyle Brown's chipping away at it one more time. This thing has stayed green all the way since the restart on lap number 7. This has been phenomenal.
And here's the other thing. The 2, Brown and Wolf, reeling in the 87H. We got a battle for the lead, and he hasn't been able to reel in lap traffic. He stalled trying to get to the 18 of Brad Johnson. Wolf now to the 2nd spot, and it's the Wolf. He's going to go hunting all over the backside of the 87H through turns 3 and 4. This one's going to be good with just 11 laps to go.
Tyler Wolf's going to huff and puff and look to blow Harley Dice's storyline down right here in the 1. The 4W car going to pull the trigger. Harley Dice ripping around the top, and we have a new race leader. Not official yet until we roll back around underneath the flag stand. Dice going to look to battle back. He'll drive it in deep. You got to wonder what the tires look like right now for the 87. He has been out there ripping it. Off of turn number 4, your new race leader officially is the 4W Tyler Wolf out of Fayetteville, Arkansas.
We said it once we got to about the lap 35-40 mark. Could the youngster maintain the same pace over a longer race? Tyler Wolf experienced in these races. Here comes Brandon Davis to the 50 to 3rd. Remember what he did a week ago?
Now,
watch him.
If Harley Dice pulls down deep from within and pulls a rabbit out of the hat here after he got passed for the lead, Now that would be something. As the 88 car Dowell is slowing off the pace down to the back straight of this race, will go under the caution lights here for the first time in the last 38 laps, I believe, if my calculations are correct.
Jimmy Dowell has a right rear flat, was slow down the back straightaway and nowhere to go with a band, just a bandsaw's worth of cars all the way around the racetrack. So track officials throwing the yellow for the 88 of Jimmy Dowell. Wow.
Whew. Man, I love modified racing.
I'm telling you.
I love it so much. That was just so much fun to watch. Just how it played out there. And Harley Dice. Can't even say he's really slipped up in this race, man. Tyler Wolff's just tough. He's just a tough customer. Harley Dice has ran such a phenomenal race, but Tyler Wolff has ran one even a little bit better to this point.
Well, and again, to me, I still question whether or not it's the inexperience of running these longer 40 or 50 lap races, Trent. We've seen this storybook, this same story play out over and over and over again. You know, these young kids that can go so fast for 25 or 30 laps and look as impressive as anything. Once you get to about that lap 35 mark, it just seems to change in a hurry.
Yeah, and it's what we've witnessed on the USMTS Tour for years and years. And, you know, you'll occasionally get that hometown hero that'll sneak up there and win one of those. But more times than not, it's the travelers. And it's not because they're not racing at the same speed, but they're just not accustomed for going at the pace that you have to go to for 40 laps, some nights even more than that. You know, Zach touched on it right there when it became a 20-lap race. And it just, man, putting those extra few laps together really is super difficult. And I can't really explain how difficult, but it's something that I've watched with consistency for over 15 years.
Now, as the field comes back to green, real quickly, we've talked about the prowess of Tyler Wolff around the Lucas Oil Speedway the last couple of years. Brandon Davis, one of the best in the business at being able to save tire over a long run. He did it last week at Deer Creek. Does Brandon Davis have anything for Tyler Wolff here tonight? We're about to find out.
Of course he does. It would be really silly of us to count out the 50 to the third, would it not? And out in the back straightaway with the turn number 3. Harley Dice, look out! Dice just got all kinds of crossed up, a major slip of the grip. He corrals it back on the throttle with Williamson down to his inside with Kyle Brown there as well in the 21K. Brandon Davis, fresh off the Featherlight Fall Jamboree last Saturday night at Deer Creek. Off of 2, down the back straightaway with, man, they are slicing and dicing right here inside of the top 5. Dice in the 21K of Brown. Givens up the third, and the 50 to the third, trying to find some mustard to get something to squirt by the 4W, and he's got to run right here in the 1.
Guess who's the fastest car on the racetrack the last time by? It is Tyler Wolff. Brandon Davis, the lap before, though, was faster, just 4/10 the lead. Now Davis, good run off of turn 2. Cartling separates him into 3 and 4.
Builds his own chassis. Supplies the own dig with his shocks, and here comes Brandon Davis with a power move to the outside to take over the race lead. Brandon Davis powers it to the top of the 1 and 2, and Tyler Wolff, he'll fight back down to the bottom, though. We got a good one brewing tonight. Into turn number 3, they're dead even at the midpoint of the back straightaway. Tyler Wolff, he's going to think about throwing a slider. He'll think better of it. He'll pull it off of turn number 4. Tyler Wolff going to re-inherit the race lead.
Tyler Wolff with 5 laps to go, but you've got company. Here comes Brandon Davis in the 50 to the third, rolling around the top part of the racetrack. Now 2-3 car lengths the lead. Down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. We got 2 of them sideways at the bottom of turn 4. Going to bring us back to the caution.
Well, you'd have liked to have seen that one stay green and played out, but I would suspect that this restart will be just as exciting with a 5-lap dash to the checkers.
Hey,
man,
don't count out Brandon Givens right there either.
I am not going to do it. Harley Dice just took a hard left down to the infield. Harley Dice
Oh, no.
Wonder if the car might be running hot.
Listen, even if this is the case, if Harley Dice's night is done,
it is. He just
tip of the cap to that young man for the week that he's had. He has opened eyes and caught attention here this week at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Open mind for sure. There's no doubt. I cannot wait to watch this young man race again. Was just racing BMX bikes, was ranked in this world just 5 or 6 years ago. Started racing B-Mods in 2021. And to come out here and to lead over 35 laps of this main event tonight was just absolutely impressive for him. And everybody must show that young man some love because he should have earned your respect tonight. He earned mine.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And it looks like a wrecker over there to the attention of the 87H. So Harley Dice, whatever the issue is, it does appear to be terminal. So here we go. We're going to reset the top 10 with 5 laps to go. Tyler Wolf leads Brandon Davis, Brandon Givens. Harley Dice scored 4th, but we know that that's not going to be the case. That'll actually be Alex Williams. And now that it's Kyle Brown, your top 5. Nick Bittinger, Terry Phillips, Henry Chambers, Keith Voss, and Bobby Williams round out your top 10.
We saw that right rear quarter panel where the cameraman zoomed in on it there. That shouldn't hamper the 4W car, I wouldn't imagine.
No, it's been like that since the early stages of this one as the field comes back to green.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got all kinds of problems. Kyle Brown broke on the restart.
That was so strange. The right
What
front.
happened
I
there?
have no idea. We'll certainly have to see the FK Roddins instant replay to assess what just happened there on the restart. Oh, goodness, man, the heartbreak for Kyle Brown continues after having a lot of strength and speed here this week.
It just broke.
Man, that's so strange.
Something on the right front just broke.
Yeah, it could have been a tie rod in.
Henry Chambers, unfortunately, nowhere to go. Kind of got into the side of Brown. You see the right side damage on the 17 car. I mean, no fault to Kyle Brown's the right front. You saw some sparks and the car slowed.
He was phenomenal tonight too, man. You know, while the car was there, faded a couple of spots there on that last green flag run. But, man, Kyle Brown was really, really good here tonight. And, man, you feel for him. You hate to see that it leaves on the hook here for downtown.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, that was kind of an odd exchange there.
Y'all go over there and buy a T-shirt from the driver to the 21K car and help support his racing program, man. It's been a tough year for him. He's certainly one of the best in that Team Harris Auto Group 21K, and certainly would have loved to get a good result out of this one, and that's not going to happen tonight. So y'all go down there and support that program if you got a few extra dollars. Harley Dice has some sweet T-shirts for sale as well, too, so y'all be sure. And he's also got hoodies.
How about Alex Williamson right now, man? The drive that he's had.
Not going. Got one getting the car fully assisted off the speedway there. They had a little hitch in the giddy up over there, getting over the top of 1 and 2. So should be going green this time by, and we will. The 4W of Tyler Wolf looking for his 16th win of the year. 15th last night, came right here at Lucas Oil as he looks to go back-to-back. Davis won here 2 nights to go. And he'll look to get his 2nd of the week. Brandon Givens has a shot here, Eric. Lights are out. We are back underway here at the Lucas Oil Speedway in your 12th running of the USRA Nationals with Tyler Wolf trying to seal the deal here tonight.
Good restart for the 4 of Wolf. He gets tight, pushes up the racetrack. Brandon Davis 3 car lengths back, though. So Davis going to have to close in a hurry here with just 5 laps to go. Coming to 4 to go this time.
How about Bittinger? Bittinger's throwing his hat into the ring as well on this restart. Got around the 15W car, that CDR chassis, true timber camo, Jack's Link service. Machine is rolling right now. He'll peek it down to the inside of the 10. Brandon Davis got something cooking again. Working down the back straightaway. This next time by Eric, it's going to be 3 laps to go to settle it as the 4W Tyler Wolf trying to keep the 50 to the 3rd at bay. Here comes Davis.
Davis led only led 1 lap last weekend at Deer Creek Speedway. It only is going to take 1 to get it done here tonight, but he didn't have a good set of corners that time through turns 1 and 2. See what he can do this time at the turns 3 and 4 end. This time by the flag stand. 2 laps to go for the 4W of Tyler Wolf.
It looked like Wolf kind of missed the bottom right there just a little bit, but you didn't tell by the speed or the live timing and scoring. As he continues to lead right now down the back straightaway with half of a second the last time, 0.524 to be exact. As they roll through 3 this time and off of 4 to the Hochatown Saloon. Last call, Brandon Davis has a prayer off of 4. He's got it within striking distance as he rolls into 1 and 2.
Going to have to cut a good set of corners here. Hope for maybe a mistake from Wolf. Wolf gets tight, pushes up the racetrack. 2 car lengths, now 1 car length into turns 3 and 4. Davis through the middle part of the racetrack. He's going to chop it down off the bottom. Wolf slides through the middle, down to the front straightaway, and the checkered flags. Tyler Wolf, winner here tonight at the Lucas Oil Speedway.
What a race. Good race there. Davis tried to pull a rabbit out of the proverbial hat and just came up a little bit short. He tried to do it for the 2nd Saturday night in a row. Couldn't get it done this time. As Tyler Wolf, certainly one of the hottest modified drivers in the nation right now. The 4W car scores his 16th win of the season and goes back-to-back here tonight at the Lucas Oil Speedway.
So Tyler Wolf, your winner. Brandon Davis finishes second. Brandon Givens in third. Track champion Nick Bittinger in fourth. And the Iceman, Alex Williamson, with a top 5 run to cap the weekend here at the Diamond and Dirt Tracks, the Lucas Oil Speedway.